The sun's out today again. I guess it's always nice. And what's going on today? I guess it was kind of interesting reading this one where apparently people were flying a drone to monitor things like fires usually, and when they saw a fire, they captured someone actually intentionally trying to set one. This one here says, drone sees 70-year-old setting fire. Within the framework of a memorandum of cooperation between Forestry Department and Institute of Cyprus regarding the ongoing development of technologies of unmanned aerial vehicles, the known drones aiming to prevent and spot fires during a test flight of a drone of the Institute of Cyprus footage was taken of a 70-year-old man who got off his vehicle and was setting fire to a rural area of Arson. How was that, huh? Let's bring it out for a test, and there you go. I guess investment or whatever paid off. You catch a fire in an unexpected way. After the man saw the drone, he put out the fire himself, while the drone pilot informed the police and pointed out the area where the incident occurred. Members of the police identified the man and asked him to appear to the Peristorana police station, where he confessed. He was accused in writing and was released to appear in court at a later stage. Kind of makes me think of that point that many people say where when they're flying things like a consumer drone, they're just capturing things like the scenery and all that, but people think they're quote spying on them, and the only people who should be worried in a sense is if you're doing something wrong like that in a public place. And this one was kind of interesting because I remember reading that story in New York where they were saying how a person died because of a debris or something that fell on the person's head, killed them, and if they had drones and the laws weren't over the top, they could have used it to inspect the buildings to prevent this. So this one here is not that they're using it for a building, they're apparently using it for things like bridges. It says New York Drone Partnership to evaluate highways, bridges. New York's Thruway Authority has partnered with Northeast UAS Aerospace Integration Research Alliance Inc. as part of an effort to inspect bridges using drones more effectively and efficiently. They say this is a pilot project too. It says using drone technology to inspect bridges, overpasses, and infrastructure along our entire system is an imaginable game changer. Drones can provide views of hard-to-reach locations quickly and safely. They say it should reduce the cost and stuff too, which I would agree with. I mean, it would only make sense if it works better, which is the example of it's just a tool. At the same time, it's kind of funny where I don't think they actually changed the regulations and stuff yet in New York, correct? In terms of flying the drones around the cities and stuff, not treating it like a huge manned aircraft. And with all that news of stuff about Facebook and so forth, saying how it's dangerous for kids, their studies, apparently they're going to cooperate in showing things like their algorithm or something like that. It says Facebook is willing to open algorithms to regulators, chief spokesman says. The company is willing to subject itself to greater oversight to ensure its algorithms are performing as intended and aren't harming users. Nick Clegg, Facebook Vice President for Global Affairs, defended the company's business practices against accusations from a whistleblower that it had put profits ahead of users' well-being. The algorithms should be held to account if necessary by regulations so that people can match what our system says they're supposed to do from what actually happens. Interesting thought here too. It says Clegg also said that Facebook is open to changing a 1996 provision of US law that insulates companies from liability from what users post. Facebook is open to limiting those protections contingent on them applying the systems and their policies as they're supposed to. How do you interpret that, huh? Either way, it seems like they're really going after the company in terms of things like regulations and all that. It makes you wonder if that'll translate into other companies, I guess, receiving the same kind of treatment. I read this was happening in some places in the US, and I guess it's official according to this. It says California law requires stores have gender-neutral area for children's products. California has become the first state to require large retailers to have gender-neutral sections for products like toys and toothbrushes, a law pushed by LGBT advocates who say that pink and blue marketing reinforces gender stereotypes and is harmful to children. Governor Gavin Newsom signed the new law Saturday that mandates large stores offer a gender-neutral section to display, quote, a reasonable selection of items. The legislation only pertains to toys and childcare items, including hygiene and teething products. Only stores with at least 500 employees will be subject to the new legislation, which does not outlaw traditional boys and girls sections. And that's kind of interesting. I'm actually fascinated with the quote science, I guess you could say, for them to determine. For example, saying pink and blue marketing reinforces stereotypes and all that, because I would say overall, wouldn't it be more of people's, I guess, actions in life where they tell you specifically what's what that reinforces certain behaviors and stereotypes? Alright, see you guys later.